This is a song by, I think, what might have been one of America's all-time greatest writers. I mean, our greatest were Stephen Foster, who wrote My Old Kentucky Home, who literally died in the gutter, like Edgar Allan Poe, like Schubert after he wrote Ave Maria, died with 12 cents in his pocket and syphilis. Mozart, buried in a pauper's grave. How do I know all this shit? I'll tell you how. It's what Mark Twain called abstruse learning. It's a bunch of shit that you don't need to know, that nobody needs to know to be successful or happy in life. And it only prepares you for running for governor of Texas or sleeping under a bridge. That's it. That's what I have, abstruse learning. What the hell were we talking about? Oh yes. So this man, a long time hero of Kinky's, Woody Guthrie, the last year of his life, the doctor in the hospital where Woody was dying of Huntington's chorea, this doctor wrote a report on Woody. He said Woody had made two belts that year and was working on a potholder. And that's how Woody died. And this is the guy that wrote some songs that were so visionary. I'm gonna do one of them for you now. This is about the one Woody wrote about Pretty Boy Floyd, the outlaw. Pretty Boy Floyd was the closest thing to an American Robin Hood we had. He really did steal from the banks and the rich people and gave it to the poor. And I think Woody wrote this. I know Woody wrote this from a newspaper story. And he drank an entire bottle of Chateau de Capiz in New York City. And he wrote about 28 verses. A lot of these verses made no sense whatsoever. They were like just word associations, like lamb, carrot, rocking horse, you know, things like that. But in the morning, when Woody woke up, he realized of the 28 verses, he'd crossed off 20 of them. And he had about 8 left. And what resulted was the song. And the man, Pretty Boy Floyd, when Pretty Boy was buried, his funeral in Oklahoma was the biggest funeral the South has ever seen. There's only been one funeral that even came close to it. And I'd like you to tell me, whose was that? Robert Lee is a good educated guess.
Hank Williams. Hank Williams.
Yeah, you guys cheated, I think. But Hank Williams is the correct answer, yes. We're up there, where was it? May have been Oklahoma City, where they were, people were saying Bear Bryant, other things like that. You know, there were a lot of names thrown out there. But yes, Hank Williams was the second largest. But what is uncanny about this is that Woody correctly saw that today, right now, the situation is exactly what it was in Woody's Dust Bowl days, where the gangsters are no longer the problem, the banksters. That's the problem. And people are, you know, their mortgages and things like that, they are being run out of their own homes in America. So, this is Pretty Boy Floyd by Gather round me, children, a story I will tell about Pretty Boy Floyd, the outlaw, Oklahoma doing well. 'Twas in the town of Shawnee on a Saturday afternoon, with his wife beside him in a wagon. He was into the town he rode. Well, the deputy sheriff called him in a manner rather rude, using vulgar words of language, and his wife, she overheard. Pretty Boy grabbed a log chain, the deputy grabbed a gun. In the fight that followed, he laid that deputy down. He took to the woods and timber shame. Every crime in Oklahoma was laid unto his name. He took to the river bottoms along your North Canadian shore, and many a starving farmer opened up his door. From many a little farmer, the same old story goes, how pretty boy paid the mortgage, and he saved their little home. They tell about a stranger who came to beg a meal, and underneath his napkin left $1,000 bill. In Oklahoma City it was on a Christmas day, come a whole wagon load full of groceries, and a note on which did say, you say that I'm an outlaw, you say that I'm a thief. Well, here's a Christmas dinner for your families on relief. Now round this world I've rambled, I've seen many funny men. Some will rob you with a 6-gun, and some with a fountain pen. But as through your lives you ramble, boys, as through your lives you roam, you'll never see an outlaw drive a family from